Hey guys, thank you for spending the time. I know we had a long break. It's getting later. Everybody's getting ready to shake it at the disco after the next class. But I appreciate you guys taking the time to come here. My name is Shawn Molloy. I am a system director for the University of Chicago. I am with Trimedx. I've had a long career approaching 24 years now as an HTM. Went through the military. I've been at the VA. I've been in-house. I've been Trimedx for 5 years. So one of the things that I discovered during my time in the military or during my time as an HTM is how much I loved leadership. Okay, I love being a tech, and I can humbly say I was a very, very good one. Okay, but I learned that I was actually a better leader. Okay, and part of the reason I was a good leader was because I was a good tech, but I applied a lot of that troubleshooting and a lot of that problem solving and those social. Remember, you can kind of know about 50% of what you need to know and fake the rest, right? Applied that to being a leader. Now, let's start out. How are you doing, Grady? By introducing ourselves. If you would, tell me who you are, where you're from, your last four, your mother's maiden name, and your birth. I'm kidding. Okay. That's cybersecurity, an introduction to cybersecurity over there. Okay. No, I'm going to ask you a question now as a survey, and then I'm going to ask you that question again at the end of the class, and we'll see if there's a difference in the response. Raise your hand if you're a leader. Okay, just about everybody. So, family. I've attended a lot of leadership classes today, and it's great because I actually saw a lot of the same information that I'm about to cover, but I heard a word used several times: family. What's that mean? What's it mean to treat your technicians like family? And I actually heard somebody talking about it in the hallway, like, man, you hear that all the time, but what's it really mean? Well, as a new technician, we've heard people talk about it. We've heard people say, hey, I'm a brand new leader, or I'm a brand new tech and my manager won't listen to me. How do I gain the respect of my senior technicians? You're the newborn to the family. You got big brothers, big sisters, right? And as you develop, you become a big brother. You become a big sister. And once you step into supervising and leadership and director roles, you become patriarchs and monarchs. And that's very important to make that type of connection. Because if I'm your brother, we have a different relationship than if I'm your father. So something to keep in mind. One of my favorite quotes from the great Michael Scott: would I rather be feared or loved? It's easy, both. I want people to be afraid of how much they love me. And it's actually true if you look at leadership from a family stance. All right. So the class, what I learned about loyalty from my dog. No. Okay. What I learned about dominance from my cats. This is Maximus, the destroyer of worlds. And the other guy over there, that is Joe Exotic. He's a COVID cat. So, nope. What I learned about everything from my wife. No. What we're here to talk about is what I learned about leadership from my 3-year-old son. Okay. Presented by me, Shawn Molloy, and a lot of people have those little things after your name, so I added some. DAD. Okay. So, first, I'd like to introduce you to my first family, my first team. This is my little man, Owen, when he was born. And as you can see here, this is my family. And it's very unique. I like to consider it somewhat diverse because we have my daughter, Emily, who is now 17 years old. We have my wife. She is holding my son, the little stud in the suspenders. His name is Owen. I'm holding my daughter, Charlotte, our daughter, Charlotte. And then her parents are beside us. And there's a judge in the picture, not because I'm heavily connected, because this is our adoption trial where we are adopting Owen into our family. Okay, so adoption, bringing someone into your family, just like you do with a technician. Okay, but let me tell you something special about adoption these days. With social media and everything the way it is, there's no such thing as closed adoption. We treat adoption like we're getting married. We get the whole family. So I knew there were grandmothers, their uncles, and aunts, and other people that aren't in this picture who were affected by what I was doing. That is true in leadership as well. Okay, your actions have impact on that technician in their family. That technician has a support system that you do not see. And a lot of times it's okay to thank that support system. iCommon will have dinners where families invited, and I tell the wives and the husbands and the spouses, thank you for what you do in supporting this technician, because we all know it's hard. We all know there's been times where we've made that decision. So what is a leader? That's my man, Mr. Owen, vote for me. I asked you the question very first, how many of you are leaders? And so many of you raised your hands. Leadership is not a position. I want to be very clear about that. I was a leader a long time ago. If you're a father, you're a leader. If you're a community member, you're a leader. If you have ever cared about someone and helped them, you are a leader. You may not be a manager yet. You may not have had that opportunity, but if you have ever served selflessly, you're a leader. So leadership is not a position. Be helpful, be humble, and make good decisions. Okay, and we'll talk more about that later. Managing and leading are two different things. We lead before we manage. Leadership can be learned and improved. Guess how? You. Okay, and it's painful. It takes a lot of effort. You could coast. It's very easy. But if you want to be a great leader, if you have the initials VP in your future, you're going to have to work hard. Anyone can lead. It takes effort, time, determination, and success is never an accident. You will not be successful by accident. You will not be successful by being dormant. You will be successful by taking action. My son came home one day from preschool. He was named top dog of the day. It's leader for the day for the class. I was so proud, right? I said, oh man, little man, what's that mean? Like, did you get to tell people what to do? Pick whatever toy you wanted? Like, what's it mean? And he looked at me and he said, Dad, I got to hold the door open for people. That's what I got to do as a leader. And I thought, wow, what a true definition of leadership. For me, being a leader is not about do this. It's what are you doing and how can I help you? How can I help you be successful? How can I get you the resources that you need to do your job? Set the mood. This is my son. My wife loves and hates just how overly done I am on things, but this is our trunk or treat at the preschool. Him and I built a giant spider that we put in the back of the thing. So people will forget what you say and what you do quickly. Has anyone heard of the Mandela effect? The Mandela effect is what? Anybody? Mass people remember things the way they weren't. Everybody might think that Mandela passed away while he was in prison, when he actually, and that was 1980 that he was released, he actually passed away in 2013. Okay? Now, if you guys know this because you've seen the Mandela, please don't spoil it for the others. But in Star Wars, Darth Vader said what? Luke, I am your father, right? No, he didn't. He said, No, I am your father. But we all remember it that way. Okay? So people will not remember things exactly the way they were said or done, but people will remember how you made them feel. You will not remember the exact details of this conference, but you will remember the feelings that you had during it. Okay? The pride that I had watching Justin check all the resumes and do the podcast and really be involved, watching Greg and Brian do their presentations. All right. And I'm such a fanboy for Mr. Bensing, right? Just being able to talk him and so much. So set the mood. How do you make people feel? Set the example, be the role model, not a friend. If you are a leader, you're a patriarch. Okay? That is where a brother is different than a father. I'm not your friend. I'm your role model. Okay? I am who you want to be, but also live that life. I want you to be a good leader. So I'm going to be a good leader and make those good decisions. Effective positivity. Positivity. Okay? How do you start your day? What makes you feel good? What reboots you? What makes you feel good in a day? Going to work? That's easy. Easy button. What makes you feel good in a day? Waking up in the morning, right side of the lawn, right? Okay. Greg, what makes you feel good?
Knowing my own stuff.
Knowing your own success. Know yourself. Set yourself positive. Because you got to walk in that office and be positive. Be the person you want them to be. Okay? And you got to be able to reset yourself at any given moment. Bad phone call, hang it up, it's over. Reset, next problem. All right? Never stop raising your child up. There's a saying, you'll never know the last time you're going to pick your child up. But it's not true. We just pick them up in different ways. We raise them in different ways. When they're older, we'll be there to support them. We'll be their biggest cheerleader. Never stop being that person for your technicians. Never. Never not show appreciation. Never not be their hero. Never not be their support system. Self-care starts with you. Every single one of you. I can't say this enough because I see people let it go. Self-care is not a self-indulgence. It is self-preservation. Take care of yourself. Set limits. Monitor your own mental health. Okay? We can't do this without you. If you put yourself in the ED or cause, sickness, it is too late to do preventive self-care. Take care of yourselves, then you can take care of others. If your passion does not include you, your passion is incomplete. I don't care about me, I just want, no, you're part of it, okay? Self-improvement is part of it. How are you part of the picture? And how do you lead to it? Be who you hope they will be. All right, so this is gonna be our first exercise. There's two, okay? My son had problems in daycare, all right? They had me on speed dial. Didn't want to nap, was disruptive, whole thing, bad, just a bad mood. So I started thinking about how do I fix that? Because as a parent, you don't want to feel like you're a failure, okay? And that's easy. And as a leader, when your group does not succeed, it is easy to feel like a failure. But as a good parent, I lead through. How can I fix this? What can I do? What can I do to make him better? So we have this ritual every morning. I drive him to daycare. Little white explorer is called the spaceship. And he has one song he wants me to play. Justin Timberlake's Can't Stop That Feeling. And we jam out. We dance. We sing. We listen to the words of the song. And we are both in a great attitude when we get to school and work. He goes off to daycare and he's happy to be there and he's smiling and he affects all those little kids and teachers around him. I get to work and I'm motivated. I've accomplished something today and I feel good, and I can spread that around my shop. Okay, so what we're going to do, if everybody could please rise up for me, is we're going to get into that mood. I want you to dance if you're comfortable. I want you to smile. I want you to clap your hands. We won't do the whole song. It's a real long song. To me, it's about 5 miles. Okay. But this, and I want you, hopefully this will work. Oh, did they not make it work? Let's see. Ah, ah. I do. All right, we got to do this, guys. All right. Yep. 100%. And you know what? I'm going to share a secret with all of you. I'm an introvert. This is painful for me. At the end of this, I'm exhausted. Okay. But guess what? It's who I need to be. It's what I need to do. All right. Huh? Right. What we need. All right. Hold on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Skip it. Right. There we go. All right, guys. Let's see if I can do it. Get closer. You guys hear it? All right. Here we go. Find the rhythm. Right. Feeling inside my bones, guys. Sunshine in my pocket and soul in my feet, right? I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. Don't stop. And I love the wavy, you know? All right, guys, all right. Have a seat, have a seat. Can't stop that feeling. I can't stop that feeling, man. That is what I send my son off to school with. We were talking about, I did a video of the office lip dub with my employees during COVID. And they were so proud. You know, it was fun. We talk about team building and we'll talk about that a little bit later, but it's important. Okay. You are the captain of this ship. You are the patriarch. Everybody like moms, dad, grandmas, grandpas, anybody mess with grandma, grandpa? No. They're the patriarchs. They run the show. Okay. Because we respect them. So, what do I want to be when I grow up? What type of leader do you need to be? I have found myself standing in front of large academic hospitals, coming from small community hospitals where I could get my arms around everything, looking at these huge buildings saying, how am I going to do this? Am I going to need to be a numbers guy? Am I going to have to be, what kind of boss? What is my leadership? Well, you know what? Parenting is the same way. Helicopter parents, okay? Those are micromanagers. They hover over their kids, right? Inspirational leadership is the same thing as a new age parent. Free range parents, those are disruptive leaders. Let's rock the world, right? And then high performance parents, those who are about grades and this, those are our numbers managers, KPI, PM completion. This is what I need. What kind of parent have you been for a baby, for a child? Could you just be one? No. You had to be dynamic. Okay? You had to be the manager you needed to be, the leader you needed to be at the time. And you had to be dynamic. You had to be able to adjust. And why did you do it? Leaders serve the needs of their clients, just like fathers and mothers. Leaders, peers, and employees changing every second to fit the demand of an ever-changing situation. It is hard, it is exhausting, and it is draining, but it is rewarding in itself, knowing that you were the right person, right place, right time. To be a leader and to serve and to live one's life in service to another. That is what we do as leaders, okay? It is hard. You can delegate tasks, but you will never delegate responsibility. And you are responsible for these people like they are your family. Be adaptive and resilient, okay? I'm a disruptive leader, all right? But I guarantee I can't walk in the door and disrupt the world. Disruption brings change, change brings innovation, and innovation brings advantage. If you're willing to disrupt something, be willing to disrupt yourself. Be willing to talk when you're uncomfortable. Be willing to take on a task that you're uncomfortable with. Be willing to go against a clinical leader who is difficult, because you will grow. Disruption brings growth, and with that, advantage. So, but you have to be the right leader at the right time. You cannot be disruptive without trust. People have to trust you. They have to believe in the change that you're promoting. They have to know that you're tried and true. So how do you gain that trust? Always be ready to say you're wrong. I made a mistake. I've seen this at the highest level. Sorry about the bonuses this year, guys. We made a bad business decision. That's on us. That's important to say. I'm wrong a lot. Comes from the third slide you saw. My wife knows everything or something like that. Remind the team of the why in the goal. How did they serve as part of the process? Why is what they're doing important? Why? Be open to feedback, change, failure, and advice. Always be open to your technicians. There was a technician earlier today who said, I have a manager who doesn't listen to I have a great idea and he's not listening to my ideas. It's all about communication. If you're a manager, listen to your techs. But also if you're a technician, if you're the newborn, understand that the world is new to you. And grandma, grandpa know a little bit more. And there might be a reason why your idea needs to be changed or isn't a good idea. And as a grandma, grandpa, as a patriarch and a matriarch, share that information. That's a good idea. And I understand at face value, it seems like a good thing. But hey, let me play Greg's favorite word, devil's advocate. Or you know what? The challenge with that is this. Why don't you take it back and try to handle that challenge for me? Tell me what you come up with. Okay? It is not the strongest species. This was Charles Darwin. It is not the strongest species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. And around now, there's so many things changing the environment. Only those species that can change will survive, or resistant to change, like cockroaches. This is a big one for me, proximity, okay? Find a happy medium in proximity. As a parent, there's too close and there's too far away, right? So, and too far away is typically, right? So find a happy medium, not too close, not too little, never too far, never too close. How do you find proximity to your employees? It's very easy to lose that proximity with the freedom we have to work from home. In some of us, with the distance that we are, the regions that they give us, okay? So how do you find the proximity that you need? What do you think? Yeah, bro, yeah.
Well, I believe that you find the proximity you have to make a diagnosis of your area.
Yeah, diagnose your area, your technicians. Some people They want that. Some people, they don't. Some people are good with a Zoom call. Some people want that personal touch. So talk to them. What is the best way for me to communicate with you? You know, can I work with you, so forth. As a director, I don't do director meetings with my techs because they've already got a crap load of meetings. I record a 15-minute video that shares all the information and they can watch on their time. And then I hide little quiz questions in the video and reward them when they email me the answers. You know, that serves two purposes. Number one, I know they're watching my videos. And number two, I know when they watch my videos. You'd be amazed. Some people watch them at 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay. So proximity. Okay. How do we learn to ensure delegation is a lot about proximity as well, because, you know, it's hard to delegate something and then not touch it. How do we teach our leaders to delegate as well? Delegation was hard for me because I was a hands-on guy. Okay, I always have been. I was a techie tech. I love the screwdriver. I did the old HP wander around management, right? Walk out of the shop. What are you fixing? Let me show you something, right? Get over here, and so on and so forth. Well, I had to distance myself from that as I advanced. So how do you teach a leader to delegate? Let's see, managers. How would you, what would be advice that you would give to a leader about delegation?
To have them, like you assign them a task or something, delegate that task to them, and have them report back to you.
Yep.
You know that it's been completed, any problems they encountered, how you can help them with those problems they did encounter. Give support, like you're saying, support to them and help them.
100%. And I liked what you said, support, right? And you have to know the proximity, don't watch over them, so on and so forth. Let me tell you how I tell my managers to delegate, okay? Every single task that you're given, one of the questions you should be asking yourselves is, do I have to do this or can someone else? Okay? If you say in your mind, so-and-so can do this, delegate and find something else to do. Okay, it's not delegate and then enjoy your time off. Okay, delegate and then do something bigger with your time. Find another resource, make their life better while they're learning. Okay, that is how you delegate. Ask, do I really have to do this? And then hand it off. We'll go over micromanagement. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's required. Typically, it's in the last ditch efforts of formal counseling. Okay, and that's why I always said, hey, if we're micromanaging, we got a problem, right? You need to be able to run your own show. Leaders tend to serve people they see and speak to more. Distance becomes a bubble of simplicity. It's true. If you're not seeing the process, you will simplify it. Well, I don't understand why you guys can't get those PM managed 100%. There's only 500 PMs this month. Well, have you talked to the technicians? Do you know the hurdles that they're facing and the hurdles that you can help them overcome? Or do you pitch it as PM completion? What's the problem here? Right? Proximity breaks that bubble of simplicity. You know, how many times have you had a distant manager or a distant leader who said something to you and you'd be like, man, I wish you could just walk with me one day and see what goes on here. Proximity. My favorite thing here is tell me you're number one. I do a quick meeting or a quick text with my managers every morning, and I say, tell me you're number one. What's the number one thing you want to get done today, and what's the obstacle that's in your way? How can I help you? We take that. I've got 3 managers. I do that 5 days a week. That's 15 tasks eliminated that they had an obstacle. Could you imagine what you'd be able to accomplish if 15 things were overcome per week, your number ones? That's our job as leaders. Create thoughtful relationships. This is Mr. Owen and my little girl, Charlotte. He has taught me, he is such a social little man. He never met an enemy. And sometimes it worries me because, there was this recent like parenting show where they sent a stranger to the door and said, "Hey, will your kid open it?" My kid would open the door. Like he would make the guy's bed, let him move in, like rent the place out. He would do it. Earn the right to be heard. Leadership is not command. Command is easy, and command exists. Sometimes command needs to be done, but it's fueled by leadership. Even in the military, full bird, full bird colonels and generals get to command, but it is the enlisted that lead. It is us, well, because I used to be, who carry out the task and get the things done. That is true leadership. Influence is built on your reputation and credibility and your employees and clients and leaders' trust. Okay? Leadership is influence. How much influence do you have? Can you make that call in the middle of the night and get somebody to come in without threatening them? We talked about getting our hands dirty sometimes as technicians, and I had a problem with it, right? As a leader, I always wanted to get my hands in there. You know how it changed? One of my techs stopped me. Said, "Shawn, stop. You have more important things to do. We got this." That's the influence I had over my team. They trusted that I had something else to do that was more important. An engaged child has an engaged parent. Engagement. Hey, there's a $1 word for you, right? Anybody do engagement surveys with their employees? How engaged are you? Everybody does, right? I'm proud to say this year's rating, 95% engaged across the highest in the company, okay? And we just implemented this hospital 1 year ago. My employees are 95% engaged. They do that because their leadership is engaged, okay? How do you have a child that's engaged? His family is engaged with him, okay? But with 95% engagement brings fear. There's only one way to go, okay? So then, but what it does is it drives engagement into your thought process, into the decisions that you make. It becomes a question when you decide things. Yes, but how will this affect engagement? How will this affect the technicians? And how can we mitigate that? That is a question you need to ask because engaged employees are driving your business. Create positive reinforcement and an environment of consequence. You are a role model. You are not a friend. There must be consequence. That is a question on engagement. Do you find people are held accountable for their actions? You know what? We do it with our children, and if we don't, what do we raise? Little hellions. Okay? You are a monarch. You are a patriarch. There must be consequence. There also must be reward. Invest in reward, but draw the line. You can do it out of love. You do it for your kids, right? I have painfully punished my son. It'll hurt me more than it hurts you. Never say that to an employee. But it's necessary for their growth and their happiness. Every day is a new day. This is one of my favorite slides because it talks about unconditional love. This was important to me and my wife because we weren't able to have a child of our own. And my wife was afraid about how she would feel about an adopted child. And let me tell you guys, being a dad, being a mom, it's two different things. Okay. I, had a very small role in the whole development of life, where my wife lost that opportunity to carry a child. But I told my wife, you won't care where this child came from when you hold him in your arms. And today, that is true because I have 2 adopted children, Charlotte and Owen. So unconditional love is amazing. Do I unconditionally love my wife? No. Sorry, she asks me all the time, and I'm always honest with her. Okay, I was like, hey, you're 1 step away, right? We hit our 10-year anniversary, and I said, we have 3 kids, I'm like, I guess things are getting serious, so I'm going to stick around. No, unconditional love is truly, it's selective. You can have it for your child. Your child could do anything to you, and you may do the right thing and hold them responsible, but you'll always love them, right? Unconditional love is unbiased. It is powerful, it is supportive, and it is constructive because you do what you have to do. It sounds a lot like leadership. Should your leadership be unbiased every day? Just because you had a bad day with that technician today, should you treat them differently tomorrow? No, give them the same opportunity to develop. Give them the same chance. Well, Shawn, what if it continues? Guess what? I always say it, there's an HR process for that. And that's tough love. Counseling is meant to correct, not to fire. But it can go that way, and that's not my choice. But if you choose to not listen to your mother, she is going to snatch your butt up and take you to bed. That is your verbal warning, right? We're trying to develop people. These are tools, but we have to do so from a stance of patriarch and monarch love, unbiased. And it's tough with a kid. Give everyone the same opportunity and effort. Do what is best. This could be reward, promotion, counseling, and a mistype here, termination. Sometimes people need termination. Sometimes it's the right thing for your team. And sometimes that person will come back to you 5 years later and apologize and thank you. It happened to me, and I rehired that individual. Only because after I told him he wouldn't get the job, and he was surprised to see me as director, he apologized and then sent me a letter of apology, accepting the fact that I would not let him work with me. And that was 90 days ago. And he is one of my best techs because he needed that tough love from me. Love is hard. We all know it. It is hard to truly love someone and to overlook the things and to always do what's best for them. Do what is best is not always what is best for you. It's hard. It's effort. You can't just auto love someone. You guys, all the married people in here, people in relationship, relationships take work. And 10 years later, they take me working on me to make sure I'm the partner that I'm supposed to be. Same thing with leadership. Are you the leader you need to be? And then what can you do to get to that level? Every day is a new change, new challenges, and new experience. Reset. Same opportunity. Create a stable work environment, not a crazy family home. Can kids develop in homes that are not stable? No. Whose responsibility is it to provide a stable environment? The monarchs and the patriarchs. And if you do that for your technicians, you will develop your technicians. You will develop a family. Recognition, invest in recognition. Every investment will benefit your influence and your engagement. Powerful tools. What does investment mean? Does it mean that I have to dig into my pocket and get sponsorship and so on and so forth? No. Time is an investment. One of the most valuable things that you do not appreciate when you're young and you do when you're old. Okay? Time. Invest. Take the time and the resources to show appreciation. If I take my son to Chuck E. Cheese, He will forget that we were there before he falls asleep in the car, right? Because he's already wanting to go to McDonald's. But small actions mean a lot. One trip to Chuck E. Cheese is forgotten. Continuous recognition and support makes you a contributor to success. But if I tell him, man, you're a big guy, man. No, you're smart, man. You're funny. You know, I love you, little dude, right? That is building someone up. So telling technicians, hey, man, thanks. Thank you so much for doing this for me. You know what, man? You always, you know, I can always count on you. Thank you. You're building success. And you know what? It's hard. It takes awareness and effort, but it is rewarding in itself. Accountability. This is big for me. If you don't want to micromanage, you have to teach accountability. And I teach accountability to my son. I love this picture because he's got his safety goggles on and we're building a vertical garden for my wife. Daughter, you can't see it. She's hitting a nail into something. Give them the ability to be accountable. Give them the leash. Give them the proximity to be accountable, right? And the understanding to desire accountability. Okay, I want you to give me the opportunity. Ensure they understand the why and how they play in the role. Why is PM completion completed? Have you ever taken a tech with you to a regulatory or a inspection, or your supervisor or your senior tech, so they can see why this is important? When you finish the inspection, do you come back and tell them what the findings were, whether or not you got caught or not, right? To say, this is why we do this. Take them through the whole process. Tell them about your support. Don't let them believe in FM, freaking magic. I request the PO and the PO shows up. Well, how? My vendors are pre-screened. How? They'll appreciate the process, okay? It brings meaning. So complement accountability, always. This is all about raising them up. What needs done, and allow them to see progress and success. Turnaround times, is that a big deal? Turnaround repair times? Okay, so you're gonna hold your technicians to a 2.5 turnaround repair time, 2.5 days. Do they see it every day? Do they see where they are? Do they see how many work orders they need to be there? Then how can we hold them to a standard they don't see? They don't know if they're nailing it. They don't know if they're being successful. Dashboards, technology, put that information in front of them. PM work orders, how many PM work orders do you have? 253. How many of those are CNL? How many of those are IPU? How many of those are vendor? I don't know, there's 250. You want me to go through? Create a dashboard that divides those up. It makes things manageable for them. I love to think technicians love to chase zero. So if you can put a number and say success is driving that number down to zero, that is a good dashboard, okay? Put it in front of them. Be patient. Forward momentum is momentum. Small wins are wins. And if you are not tracking your wins, you're missing an opportunity to reward. You know, one of the things that we do is we have a billboard up that we count wins. You know, this is a win, and a win is as easy as we just hired this for this position, or we just completed this project. And it feels good to see a number up there like 600, right? We're winning. Promote growth at the leadership level. That is, okay, so at a leadership level, micromanagement and not properly delegating is known as whack-a-mole or putting out fires, okay? So, PM management, okay, over here, 100%. Oh, shit, TAT's out of control. Okay, over here, TAT's fixed. Now down, PM management's up again, right? You know, whack, 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 whack. When what you needed to do is strategically work with everyone to create forward momentum, give them a dashboard where they can hold themselves responsible, and then give them proximity. And then reward them and hold them accountable. That is a successful program. That is proper leadership. Give them what they need and then get out of the way. Team building. How am I doing on time here? 15 minutes? 17? All right, we'll do this at the end if we have time, okay? I don't want to miss something here. Team building, we talked about that. A lot of people want to know about team building exercises, like what can you do? You can find out who your techs are. Some people like to go off site. Some people don't, okay? Some people like to drink. Some people don't. Be respectful of their diversity and their beliefs. You know, we're in Ramadan. I don't do lunches when we're in Ramadan because I don't want to isolate technicians. We do actually do a big lunch to celebrate at the end of Ramadan, okay? Team building is teaching them to see value in each other and value in the family. It's not making them like each other. I don't like my sister still, but that's family. You hear blood's thicker than water. You know, hey, I may hate you, but I'll be there for you, right? That's fine. We're all different, okay? Team building is about conflict management and working through your difficulties together. And hopefully we'll get the team management or team exercise to demonstrate that. It's about breaking down boundaries and creating comfort in your relationships, okay? A comfort with that person, knowing I may not like you and we may disagree, but I know you got my back. And I know you'll bring something to me, right? And we can talk. Isn't that the number one problem? Why didn't you talk to them? Because they're not comfortable. So that's what team building is about. Team building reduces bias, ignorance, and strengthens your team. It answers those questions you're not, you know what? I thought you were just a nasty person, and it turns out that you got something going on at home. All right. Or I've got a thing, hey, that's just, I love them because it's just the way they are. And so I know it's not personal, right? Some people have social disabilities. And you can't tell me through your biomed career, you ain't met a few of them, all right? The guy that you just don't put out on the floor. He can fix a bed, like with the best of them, but I ain't putting him on the floor, okay? That happens, but if you have to know, that's just the way he is. It's not personal, and I can work with that because he's got my back because I got his. Flexibility. Psychological flexibility gives parents the ability to remain engaged with their children. We talked about engagement, that's fostering success, especially when things seem to be falling apart. Good leaders just don't lead through success. Good parents just don't parent through the good times. They parent through the worst of times. And those are the times when people remember. Okay? When we fail together and we fail professionally. Lead through failure. Be that same honorable role model through failure. Give the same feedback. Thank you. I know we didn't hit it, but thank you for your effort. We're going to get it next time. Okay? Or this is how we're going to do it, and we're going to do it together. That is properly leading. That is being that positive role model. Be the coolest, this is my favorite, be the coolest cucumber in the room. This is my go-to. I am the coolest cucumber in the room. If it's me and facilities and the clinical administration in the room, and it's an argument between me and facilities about whose responsibility it is, I'm gonna let them talk first. I'm gonna be quiet. Well, this is definitely biomed's responsibility, right? And I'm gonna say, hey, listen, you know, I believe that's something we can resolve later. My concern is just the patient impact right now. We're going to take on this. We'll work with you. We'll fix the situation, and we will discuss whose role it is later. And I walk out of there good with the clinical folks. And hey, facilities, could you hang around for a minute. Administration pulls them in and then writes me an apology letter later from the administration saying, I apologize for how the facility's acted. Put your emotions down. Okay, just like with children, you have to be the rock. You have to be the rock for your child. You have to be the rock for your employee. If you flail, they will flail, and you will lose trust. Be in control and be ready to reset and move on. Okay? Always be in control. Now, through this class, I've been in control. Okay? But I haven't demanded it. I've influenced you. It's a mind trick. It's true. It's manipulation. But it's for the good. And that's what control is. It's influence. It's positive influence. Detach. Be self-aware. Be thoughtful. And be thorough. Because that's what you want from them. Be fearless. This is my little guy with all the cicadas. You know, so in Chicago, we have seasons of cicadas. These are little bugs that live in the ground and then come out and shed and make a ton of noise. And during certain seasons, it looks like lava coming out of the ground. My wife hates it. She won't go outside during those times. And so I put a munch on his shirt and sent him into the house. Have the courage to fail. Have the courage to fail. I'm a big Edison fan, okay? Tesla's okay, but I'm a big Edison fan. He's tried and stole a lot of different ideas, failed 1,000,000 times and succeeded 100. Be prepared to fail. The resilience to recover, a mindset for success, and the ability to consistently operate from a higher conscience. As a leader, you need to be outside of yourself. You need to have the patience and the perception to see things that other people don't see. And to be aware of your emotions, to be aware of your actions. And it's hard. But just like everything else, with practice, you'll do it naturally because it feels good. Okay? And in those moments when you're the coolest cucumber in the room, you know it. You know, walking into any room that you're in control. And they can act and come with you at whatever they want. But by the end of this conversation, I'll win. Okay? People like to follow other humans, not flawless icons. So admitting weakness actually attracts others and makes them feel kinship with you. Family. If I can admit that I made a mistake, I appear human to you. Do you know why? Because you can make a mistake. That means you're like me, and you can do what I do, and you can be who I am in the example that I set for you. So that creates the trust and even greater loyalty. Okay? If I admit I'm not perfect and I talk to you and counsel you and give you the love you need when you are perfect and when you're not, you will be loyal to me because I'm willing to do this for you. It's rare. We're not all going to be directors and VPs and so on and so forth. I'm sorry. Opportunity is not a guarantee, but it takes effort. And I guarantee you those people and your family are going to be there for you, right? The blood's thicker than water. All right, fearless leaders are not arrogant, okay? They see themselves in the service to others, to the mission, to the organization, and to the many, many stakeholders. It's hard because you are in service to them all. You are selfless, but don't forget about yourself. Make sure that it's easy to lose that. Make sure you're taking care of yourself because that allows you to be that better leader. We is the dominant pronoun. You guys have heard it all the time. We is the dominant pronoun. Read your emails, get rid of all the adjectives. okay? I am extremely disappointed. Drop extremely. But always say we. In organizations that embrace fearless leadership, that is common. And collaboration is how things get done. Delegation. Delegation is one of the most powerful and important talents a manager can have and develop. You can do everything, or you can do anything, but you cannot do everything. You will become more powerful when you have people behind you. You will be more powerful when you have stronger leaders. You will be more powerful when you have stronger technicians. And that only comes from delegation. How did you learn? You had the opportunity. You made mistakes. I did too. And they deserve that opportunity. Our children deserve the opportunity to become parents themselves, and it's something we want for them. As grandparents, we want to step aside in retirement and laugh at our children as they deal with parenthood, right? Same thing as managers. As a director, I kind of laugh at my managers every once in a while because I'm like, yeah, I remember, right? So delegate, build them. Make it a natural part of your decision making, like I said. When to step in. This is little man on his first birthday, and I don't know why my wife dressed him like a Chippendale, but she did. Saving the day without being the hero. When you delegate, monitor, make small actions to help. Do not take over. You are going to destroy their self-view and their confidence. There's a saying, you will know you've done what's right when you do nothing at all, or when it feels like you've done nothing at all. It's their success. It's their learning, okay? And the overall success is yours. So monitor progress and provide gentle corrections. Don't stunt their development. We learn the most in hard times. We do. Those of us who walked the COVID line for those years, what we learned over that time will carry on for a very, very long time. Step in when it is no longer development, when they're flailing, when there's a safety risk, or it's no longer beneficial to that person. In other words, they're starting to lose their self-confidence. Step in. It's when you would step in for your children. Work with, don't take over. Okay. Does it matter? Then I think we're going to have quick time for the team. Does it matter? Does it any of this matter? Does all of this effort? I can tell you it's hard. It is tough. It takes vision. It takes going to Google. It takes hacks. It takes practice. It takes screwing up. It takes screwing up someone's career and admitting you did it to learn. But in the end, is it worth all of this to have that team? How many of you have been on that team, the good team, the supportive team, the family? Remember, it's the way it used to be. We remember that as techs. That didn't just happen. Success isn't an accident. There was a leader there who developed that, and somewhere it got lost, but it can be developed again. So is it worth it? It matters to him. This little boy, blonde hair, blue eyes, who's going to develop. And one day, I hope he carries the best of me with him. And you hope that one day he's better than you are. And that's the exact thing we want for our employees. Okay. So team building exercise, everybody please, on your feet. All right, what I want you to do, I'm going to speed through this because I know I got a little bit of time. What I want you to do is partner up. Two people, partner up. So 2 people at a time. Turn around if you want to partner with. So there you go. All right, here's what we're going to do, guys. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to play one round of rock, paper, scissors with your partner. Now, if you tie, you go again. But if you win, you move on to another winner. And whoever lost is now your cheerleader. Okay? So, round one, go. All right, everybody assume your roles, assume your roles. Are we all done? There we go. All right, cheerleaders. All right, now turn around, find another winner. Find another winner. And you're inheriting the cheerleader, so let's hear it. Cheer for your guy. Cheer for your guy. Come on, cheer for your guy. Come on, let's hear it. Come. Yeah. All right, you got a winner. Okay, so we got a winner here. And guys, remember, when you win all of the supporters. So you move on behind that person. All right, so do me a favor. Let's hold for 1 minute. Raise your hand if you're currently a player. You're still in it. 1, 2. Robert still is. So 3. Now, this we're going to stop for a very moment because I want to bring some visualization. What is this? Right now, we've got clicks. Everybody know them? At work. Clicks at work, right? We had a bunch of clicks. But what happened? Somebody won and the support moved on. We supported somebody else, okay? So I'll keep you out for this one. We'll get the 2 here together. Remember, you're cheering for your winner. So cheer for your winner. We're gonna do best of 1. Here we go, let's hear it, come on. Oh, all right, so now we're divided. There should be 2 sides. You're gonna support your person. It is best out of 3. Best out of 3, but I really want to hear you guys get behind them, support your team, and make it happen. Oh, you still need to? All right, okay, let's go. 1 more. Let's hear it for him. Come on. There it is. All right, so final showdown. Cheer for your side, guys. This is the last part of the class. Please, best of 3. Are we ready? Let's hear it. Shoot on 3. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Yeah, here we go. That's right here. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's hear it. Let's get behind it. Let's hear it. Come on. Oh, we got 1 and 1. This is it. Here we go. What? Oh! There it is. All right, everybody, give yourselves a hand. All right. Hey, that is team building. It requires nothing. Okay, there are ideas out there. It really gets people excited. It gets them behind each other. Okay, be creative, make the effort. Thank you.